edition of One on One with Jon Alba here on adfreeshows.com and AFS on YouTube.com. I have been so lucky to talk to so many people from so many different generations of pro wrestling here on One on One with Jon Alba. And I'm joined today by someone I've gotten to know in the last few years and I think is a really cool representative of what pro wrestling can be. That is the former Top Dolla, the former Sugar Bear, AJ Francis. What's up, brother? How are you, man?
Hey, what's up, man? You got Sugar Bear in there. That's how I know you
got Sugar Bear. You know I got you.
You're a real one for that.
Look at that smile. I knew it was there, man. Hey, AJ and I have gotten to know each other over the past few years because actually when I got to Orlando and I was doing the news gig, I did a piece on him, a feature on him for the show that I was hosting. And that's when he was just a young cub training. And now you're taking over the world, man.
I was like 3 weeks into training, right? At that point when they did that TV interview, it was funny because you wanted to do an interview about the school, but then you got to the school and you found out that a former NFL player was there and it changed the story completely, right?
That's how it goes, man. And I feel like a good reporter, you have to be cognizant of those things that are around you, and you have such a great story. And I wish WWE and any promotion that you work with dived more into that backstory, because you do have a really cool backstory. Look at that.
Look at this. This right here, I got the patch. Last year I did the official Super Bowl song for the Kansas City Chiefs.
I mean, how cool is that?
They're still playing it this year. Still getting spins because the song's called Run It Back and they lost last year, so they're trying to run it back, you know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, nobody in WWE, they never mentioned it, not even considered mentioning. So I was there. So that was always funny to me. I was like, okay, well, whatever.
Well, I wanted to bring you on here because I feel like there are a lot of people who will do interviews with someone like you and they'll look at a lot of the surface level stuff. But I know that your journey, and we talk about the journey on one-on-one a lot here, is so deep. There's a lot of layers and there's a lot of depth. And the person that people saw on TV was so authentically you. And that was the cool thing about your journey here. When you look back on your run in pro wrestling so far, how much of the real you are people seeing?
I mean, it's just a character that I've created. Like they say, turn it up to 11. Like the brash, braggadocious rapper. Like I've been that since I was 12 years old. So, you know what I'm saying? That's just me. Like when we were doing The Row before Hit Row on the Indies, when I was doing The Row and I was Sugar Bear, like you mentioned, like it was a more vulgar version of the character because I was mimicking Suge Knight, obviously. So like it was a way more vulgar version of the character, but I have been known to be vulgar. So like even in that aspect, like everything you see from me, I don't have to think about what my character is going to do. I don't have to think about how my character reacts in certain situations. Like I just say, you know what, this is what I would do. And that's what I do. Because to me, there are some characters, like obviously if you're the Undertaker, you can't channel in your real life being an undead zombie man. You know what I'm saying? But short of characters like that, like the best way to really connect with the audience and for people to really want to see you succeed is to be real. And if you really think about it, Hit Row was on TV for 6 months, not even. And look at the impact that we made in 6 months. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's all because when fans would see it, they'd be like, man, like that's cool. Like I don't know why I like this so much yet, but I want to know more. And that's what you need to get from your character when you go on screen.
Well, and there's a lot of times where, and I'm trying to break this down very analytically, when you see a gimmick like that, there will be people who will say, oh, well, that's just on TV because it needs to hit a certain niche. It needs to follow a certain, you compartmentalize it, right? Like they're just doing this because they are a group of 4 African Americans and they need to do this. But that's so not the case with Hit Row
No.
and with your career at all. It really is reflective of all of your journeys.
Like the crazy thing is like me, Swerve, and Bree, I think had like 6 albums and like I want to say like 12 total projects, including like mixtapes and EPs and stuff that we released before we formed Hit Row. So like to then have people be like, oh, they got the black guys playing rappers. It's like you don't even have like Google's free. Like you could go and figure out how actual real everything that we did is. Like me and Swerve literally just shot a music video for a song that'll be on his next album. We shot that on Monday. Like, and it's a crazy concept. It's like a comic book, Rob Rich Man's House concept. And it's really cool. We did like a whole Reservoir Dogs thing with it too.
That's awesome.
So like, you know, it's really cool. And he even like posted today, I think on his socials, he posted videos of him, one of the scenes of we got him like the Joker scene with him sitting outside the car, you know, so it's like, it's a really cool concept. And like, but the thing is like, this is probably like including my Frank Style Friday, it's like probably my 200th music video I've ever made. You know what I'm saying? So for people to be like, oh, well, you know, they're making them play this role. People would say that. I'd be like, God, Google is so free, bro. You're doing a lot.
What was the process of getting the Hit Row stable on TV and getting people to understand why this would be a gimmick that would work for you guys?
I mean, for a long time, a lot of people didn't think like that it would work. Like they didn't understand what I was trying to do.
And this was your idea, correct?
I mean, it's the Rove, like I used to be with Sugar Bear. So like it was the same exact concept. I came in with it, but when I came to WWE, I came and at the time Leo Rush was there and Swerve was there, and I wanted to do the crew with Leo Rush and Swerve. But what ended up happening was Leo got released, and then Swerve was doing his own thing. So then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna, you know, like I'll get myself on, and then I'll tell them this idea how to build this around me. And then I'd been there for 3 months, and I was approached by Ryan Katz. He was like, "What do you think about doing a crew like what you're doing a crew with Brianna and Tahuti?" So I was like, I'm in. Like, well, at first we didn't know what the crew was gonna be, and then I realized, wait, Brianna's a rapper. Like in my mind, like I literally sat there for like an hour. I was like, if I went with Brianna and Tahuti, how would we do it? And then I was like, wait, Brianna raps. I was like, we can say that Tahuti's the producer, and we can be a record label just like I was already doing, right? So we did that. We called it the Hitmakers, and we did that behind the scenes in WWE for like a year. For like a year, we were doing the same style promos we were recording the promos in my recording studio. Like we were recording songs in my recording studio at my house and presenting the videos. I'm like, yeah, this is what we want to do. This is what we want to do. But it wasn't until the A&E's Most Wanted Treasure show that I hosted was about to debut. There was more of a push to get me on TV. So when the show debuted, like 2 days later, Triple H approached me and Swerve about Swerve coming into the crew. And Swerve didn't know at the time that I wanted him in the crew to begin with. You know what I'm saying? That like he had no idea. But and neither did Triple H. You know, nobody knew. But so I was like, yeah, that sounds great. Like I would love for Swerve to be a part of this. And then because he was already in the feud with Leon Ruff, which had a lot of steam, they came up with the idea for us to debut in their big blow-off match by me catching Leon off the ladder and then giving him my finisher on the guardrail, and then we was off to the races.
It was so funny because that day, or though it was the week prior, I saw you in a vignette. I was like, man, it would be awesome if AJ Francis was like the heavy for Swerve. And then bam, it happened. And I had people who knew that I knew you were like, did he tell you this? I was like, no, it made so much sense. The package worked together. So I was so happy to see that. And you guys really did find a lot of steam. And unfortunately, it came to a quick end. But looking back on the run together, what did you learn about yourself as a performer and as a personality? Because you're so well-rounded and there's so many different layers to you.
I'm sorry, my dog is
That's okay, no problem.
He's playing with his bone. Go to your bed. Go. So he what I learned was that, you know, I have always been prepared for this moment. Playing in the NFL, you learn how to handle pressure in a high stakes environment where there's a lot on the line. You do that in college football as well. And I had already been on so many different TV shows doing sports analyst work, ABC, NBC, CBS. I did those for years before I got to WWE. So like, I knew that I could do a physical aspect under pressure, and I knew I could do a performative, informative aspect under pressure on camera, both on camera. But WWE and wrestling in general is the perfect combination of the two. So it's like being able to see that very early on, like, not only am I good at this, but like it comes very easily. Like if you go back and watch any of my matches, I don't have any botches anywhere. I don't have any, there's never anything you could be like, oh, he should have did. It's performance art, and you're either a performer or you aren't. And I'm a performer. Some people aren't. And that's why they struggle. And to me, to be honest with you, like, if you want to know how easy it is for us to portray good characters on TV, Swerve had the North American title for 2 months, wrestled 0 matches, and people still gave a damn.
Yeah. And I think it helps because you grew up such an authentic fan of pro wrestling too. Like you were a fan from the start, and you made that abundantly clear to me. I remember running into you at a Raw in Orlando, just in the crowd. Like we just ran into each other. How much did that help in you chasing this dream that you grew up an authentic fan of it? And who did you watch growing up that helped inspire you?
It helped me a lot. I mean, because I knew what the fans were looking for because I am one. You know what I'm saying? Like I knew, well, they won't believe that, or they'll believe that. Like, and you know, it's professional wrestling. So even some things that are unbelievable, you let happen because it's professional wrestling, right? But like, there's always a line to where there's only so much bullshit people will take. You know what I'm saying? So, like, it helped me a lot because I understood where that line really was, and I could relate it to my character and Hit Row as a whole. And you know, I've been to 5 WrestleManias, so like I know how it's supposed to look when it's a big deal. And there's a lot of people that don't know how to elevate their game to a moment, and to me, I don't ever think a moment is big enough. So like when I got to WWE, like the hardest part about being a fan my whole life was the fact that I had to now not pretend that I was a fan of a lot of people I worked with. You know what I'm saying? So like I had to not pretend. I mean, I had to pretend that I was not a fan. I'm sorry, of all the people that I worked with, because you have guys like you look at Adam Cole. Adam Cole, I used to watch him at Ring of Honor. You know what I'm saying? Like I watched him in Dallas at WrestleMania 31 weekend. 32 weekend. Like I've been a fan of him my whole life. And then my first day in NXT, me and him are in the locker room together, and I got to pretend like, you know,
no big deal.
Yeah. Same thing with, you have guys like when I first did the A&E show with the Undertaker. Like I trained with him for 2 days before that, but you know, he's the Undertaker. I don't know if he remembers me or not. And so we shoot the A&E show, and I pull up and see him. And he's like, hey, AJ, how you doing, man? And I'm like, oh my God. Right? Right? So like, I had to play that role of like, this is really cool for me as a fan, but like now I'm a professional, I got to handle it a certain way. You know what I'm saying?
That's awesome.
And there's a lot of instances like that I could go back and forth on, because I spent so much time as a wrestling fan growing up my whole life.
We're talking AJ Francis here on 101 with Jon Alba. I got a couple more minutes with you here. So I want to ask you, this journey, unfortunately, came to a quick end. And I think it leaves a lot of people wondering, you know, there were so many more legs here. Do you still have any aspirations to pursue pro wrestling at a high level, or do you have interest in exploring some of those other areas that you love, like music and football?
But the thing is, I never stopped making I never stopped making it like I have to do one thing. You know,
Right.
I've never done that. I made music the entire time I was in WWE, and I'm gonna continue to make music. I was doing TV work while I was in WWE, and I'm gonna continue to do TV work. Um, I think the blessing of all of this is the fact that now I don't have to limit myself to just wrestling. I am very capable of doing a wrestling role for anybody's company that wants me. That's not hard to do. I can do it 2 days a week or 10 days a week. It's up to you. What I can actually do is, though, go out and get opportunities on television elsewhere. Like I've been in Super Bowl commercials. I made the Super Bowl song for the Chiefs. Like I am ready to tackle all aspects of what's coming next. And really, like being able to do things that I love that my schedule limited before is a blessing. And do I think that I am done with WWE forever? No, I don't. I've just based on personal conversations I've had with people, I don't. But do I think that I need to go focus on myself right now? Absolutely. And to be honest with you, I've been focusing on myself my whole life, so it ain't nothing new.
There are a lot of people who watch a journey like yours, and you've been able to pursue all these different areas of interest, like I just said. What would you like people to take away from your journey as something that they can learn from?
Believe in yourself. Every single thing I've ever done, people told me I couldn't do it till I did it. So believe in yourself. Like one of the reasons why I think I'm so successful is because I believe that I'm going to. The reason I'm able to accomplish so many different things is because I believe that it's possible. And if I didn't believe that it's possible, then I wouldn't be able to get it done. And don't worry about naysayers. There's always going to be people that got something terrible to say about you that don't know nothing about you. As my nana like to say, you know, people hated Jesus too. That's what, so she said that all the time. So, you know, at the end of the day, as long as you're happy with yourself, you know what I'm saying? You're the person that you got to look in the mirror every morning and decide how you feel about yourself. And can't nobody else do that for you. So whatever you want to do it, man. I mean, this life is too short. This life is too short. It took me losing my mother at an early age to realize how short life really is. And, you know, not everybody needs to get an example like that in order for them to realize they only got one chance on this earth.
Well, you bounced back big. You've traveled the world. You're going to continue to travel the world in so many different mediums. And it's always fun watching you, my friend. And I wish you nothing but the best this year. I really appreciate you hopping on one-on-one with Jon Alba here. And I'll give you guys a little announcement too, by the way. Normally we're weekly here. We're actually moving one-on-one to a premium once-a-month event because I learned from Top Dolla that you got to treat yourself like you're the top billing. So, you know, if you didn't know, now you know.
Now you know. Now you know. You know
so we're going premium, and AJ is our last guest on the normal format. So thank you, my friend, for hopping on. I appreciate you and wishing you nothing but the best this year. Good luck, and who knows? Maybe we'll see you in another Super Bowl commercial sometime soon.
Hey. Hopefully.
Have a good one, my friend. And we'll see you guys next time here on adfreeshows.com. Make sure you subscribe. AFS on YouTube, adfreeshows.com. We'll see you next time. One-on-one with Jon Alba.